Now, brothers and sisters, once again, we run into this theory, and that's all it is. The Christian theology. Now, what the Caucasians have done is they have made up a doctrine that says that there's no works you can do for salvation. They made that doctrine up and it was made up in slavery. And a lot of our people trust that doctrine. Beware of it, because it has caused a lot of our people an eternal death. It's time to get free from that. The book of Romans 4:4. Now to him that worketh is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. The debt, that's the law. The worketh is the law, and it's of debt. So you're in debt to the law. But wait a minute. But to him that worketh not, to him that doesn't do any of the law, that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifieth the ungodly. So if you believe on him that justifies the sinner, the ungodly is the sinner. 1 Peter 4:18. Don't have time in this video. Wish I did. But the ungodly is the sinner. His faith is counted for righteousness. So you don't have to do work. You have to believe on him, and then your faith, because that's what believe is, faith is counted for righteousness. So believe on him or have faith in him that justifies the sinner, and your faith is counted for the righteousness of God. But I want you to pay attention now. I want you to pay attention. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 12, verse 14. Let's read verse 13 with it. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work. Now, you know me. Work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Now, God is going to bring every work into judgment, which means you're going to be judged by work. But whether it be good, whether it be evil. Let's go back to who's doing the evil. Who's doing the evil? Let's look at this. The book of Ecclesiastes 8 and 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged. Wait a minute, stop. I'm not about to read the whole verse. I'm just showing you what I want you to see is a transgressor of the law is the one that does the evil. Lawkeepers are not doing the evil. But those that are doing evil are sinners, those that transgress the law. So we go back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 17. Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he hath commanded thee. And thou shalt do that which is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest go in and possess the good land which the Lord swore unto thy fathers. But I read it all, butchered it. But to keep the commandments, and thou shalt do that which is right and good. It was good to God when you kept the law. When you kept the law, that was good. You Christians, flip, 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 right? To keep the commandments was good. To sin was evil. So here's my thing. Let's see, they teach a version of the Messiah. They teach a version of the Messiah. They don't teach the real words. Now let's look at what the Messiah said in John chapter 5, verse 28. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice. And they shall come forth. They that have done good, what was good? The law, unto the resurrection of life. and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation, which is the lake of fire. This is one of the most simple of the scriptures to understand, but billions can't see this. To do good was to keep the law, and if you done evil, it was damnation, which was the lake of fire. To do is work. If you're doing it, it's a work. Pay attention now. Pay attention. The book of Hebrews 6 and 10. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work. I thought it didn't take any works. I thought, brothers and sisters, it didn't take any works. But we keep seeing work. And labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work. There was a work you were doing. And labor of love. What was the labor of love? Let's remember, work and labor of love. So what was the work they were doing and the labor of love? What was that work? Now let's look at it again. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. What was the work they were doing with the labor of love? Let's do. See, brothers and sisters, it's important you read. Remembering without ceasing your work of faith and labor of love. Wow, now that was the work they were doing. Faith. Paul said faith was work. Work of faith, Christians. Work of faith. Faith was a work. So there was a work of faith you had to do. And it was the labor of love, like it says in Hebrews 6 and 10. Brothers and sisters, y'all see this? There was a work of faith. But the Christians say, oh, him that worketh not, but haveth faith on him. But wait a minute. I'm not crazy now. Don't tell me I'm crazy. 2 Thessalonians 1:11. Wherefore also we pray always for you, that our God will count you worthy of this calling, to fulfill all the good pleasure of his goodness, and the work of faith with power. This is work of faith with power. This is another verse. Paul writes it again. The work of faith. Here, Paul is saying faith is work, just like James. The scriptures Christians won't read. But, so let's go to the final book of the Bible. Let's go to the final book of the Bible. The book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep his commandments, or keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Now, I want you to notice, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith. So the keeping the commandments of God and as well as the faith is telling you that the faith of Christ is in the commandments. And he told you, brothers and sisters, and he told you in Matthew 23, verse 23, "Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithes of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law." Christ speaking, red letter, judgment, mercy, and faith. The faith of Christ was a matter of the commandments. That's why it says, and the faith, because he's telling you faith is a matter of the law. Come on now. So let's go back to Revelation 14:13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Wait a minute now. And what follows them? Works. Every time you see, brothers and sisters, you're going to have some works. Now, are they going to be the works of the law or the works of man. Easter, Christmas, Sunday, baby day, dog day, cat day. You guys get the point.